Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal back with another thoughts, analysis, and rant. So there has been a conference, releases, presentations, announcement lately, summertime, and this time I want to give you my thoughts, analysis, and rant of the Panasonic GDC. Let me repeat that: Panasonic Lumix DC G100, and depending on the country you are living in, it can also be modeled Lumix DC G110. But for now, I'm gonna call it G100 for the conveniencies and just for the easy terminologies. So, Panasonic is marketing this camera as for bloggers, vloggers, for those content creators, quick content creators, not for cinematographers, just something to make online videos and also traveling camera, I guess you can say. But you see, I'm not really happy with this camera. Let me give you my thoughts right now. Panasonic missed the boat on this one. I don't even know what's this camera for. I really don't understand. They say it's for vloggers, and yet it has so many missing features for videographers out there. I think, to me, this camera is a waste of time. It's an afterthought camera. It's just going to be a camera that is not a good seller. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know. Again, that is my thoughts, and I really don't know why you would buy this. I really don't. And so, for me to even understand why Panasonic even made this camera is a waste of time. They could have focused on Micro Four Thirds instead of making this. To me, the perfect videographer camera for something compact is basically as close as you can get is the Sony ZV-1. But you know what? Let me get into the specs first, okay? That way you understand why I think this camera is a waste of time. So specs first. So it is coming at $750 with the 12 and 32 lens, and $800 with the 12 to 32 lens and a tripod grip. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. Okay, 22 megapixels, Micro Four Thirds sensor, CMOS, obviously. ISO is 200 to 25,600. It has a boost ISO of 100, and then not only that, it obviously can shoot RAW photos in RAW. Autofocus, contrast detect, no face detect. It has face detection. It has tracking, obviously, multi-area. It has digital zoom. Not only that, the LCD is fully articulated. It can flip, it can go sideways, which is pretty cool. 3-inch screen, 1.8 million dots. It is touchscreen LCD. The EVF is certainly electronic with 100% coverage, and has a 1.46x magnification. The resolution is 3.6 million on the EVF. So it has a minimum shutter speed of 60 seconds with a max of 1 out of 500 seconds, and the electronic maximum shutter is 1 out of 16,000. So it has exposures program, aperture priority, shutter priority, and manual. It has a dial mode on the top. It also has a recording button on the top. It has on the front, it has a dial for adjustment, a rotary dial. It could be for ISO, it could be for your aperture, and so on. It has a built-in flash, I'll give it that, and you can put a single external flash. It has a hot shoe, certainly. It has a microphone that can actually track your voice, even you're out of focus. But you can also set it in the front, on the back, so depending on the settings. And it has a sub timer. Not only that, it has MP4 with MPEG 4 and H.264 for the formats. videos are 4K 30 frames per second, 25, 24 frames per second, and then 1080, which is 120, 60, 50, 30, 25, and 24 frames per second. And it comes with the SD cards. USB only comes with 2.0. Yes, 2.0. Not USB-C. Yes, not USB-C. It does have USB charging. It has a micro HDMI. It has a microphone port, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and it is not weather sealed. The battery life is 270 shots, and then it doesn't have GPS. It does have orientation sensor and time lapse. And so that is the specs. So as you can tell based on the specs, I did not even mention about 3-axis or 5-axis optical image stabilization. It only has electronic stabilization. Yes, you heard that right. So that is the reason why I find this camera a waste of time even at its price. Maybe it's going for the Canon M50. I don't know, but it's certainly a bad look for the Micro Four Thirds camera, which I have. I have an Olympus EM5 Mark II. But you know what? Let's get to the analysis. First and foremost, this will not be a great seller. It's an afterthought camera. Panasonic is gonna tell people, oh, no one's buying a Micro Four Thirds camera. And we as Micro Four Thirds user are gonna say, why did you even release this? This is basically a bad showing of a camera to those who are new to the Micro Four Thirds or who are not into Micro Four Thirds. Why you even bring this camera? And to that I would say you are, us Micro Four Thirds, you're right and Panasonic is wrong. So in the supply and demand things, there's going to be a lot more supply than demand. It's not going to make profit. Even if the camera was cheap, there's really no point of this camera. I mean, you would have to buy multiple lenses to take advantage of this camera. And the worst part about this is that there's no optical image stabilization, but I will get to that right. So in the economics of things, certainly this reminds me of the Panasonic GM1. It was so small, it was portable, and yet no one bought it. Even now, no one really buys of it. Barely any people remembers it. And so if you're gonna say this is a competition for a Canon M50, no, I'd say the Canon M50 may even be better because of the bigger sensor. The only thing this may have, maybe the better camera, a video format. That's about it. But other than that, again, I really don't see anything about this camera that could make it special, that could change the game, or that could be noticeable, or it's a showstopper. It's not. And so, oh man, it's almost as if I'm bashing this camera, and I think I am. But in the bigger picture here, Panasonic has not provided the camera industry with anything that could be a big showstopper to the industry, or that can make people want to say, I want to buy that. And it's a perfect missed opportunity. And as we keep staying home, I think people want to blog about themselves, want to blog about their life, and I feel as though this camera doesn't do it because it misses a lot of features, and that is just too bad. So let's get to my rant here. This is the rant. First and foremost, no optical image stabilization. I am not happy about that. Second of all, I don't know. I don't have. What is this camera for? Is this for videographers? Is it for they never said traveling, right? So because since there's no optical image stabilization, there's no point of blogging because it's gonna be shaky, and you don't want to watch a shaky video. No weather sealed. You would think I don't care if it's $750, but for a camera that is now weather sealed, that is absolutely too bad, especially if you are presenting this or marketing this camera as a videographer. Another thing is that the tripod. Really? Why? Why do we need to buy this tripod? And then you have the biggest thing I really don't understand is that the USB 2.0. Why not USB-C? It's 2020. Why not USB-C? And then I know, yes, there is USB charging, but the USB-C gives it a faster charge, so you can actually keep it plugged in while you're video recording. And the worst part about this, to me, this is the worst part about it, is that I understand that Panasonic has went to full frame with Leica, and Sigma. So suddenly the Micro Four Thirds is becoming an afterthought. And this camera certainly shows it. I mean, really? And to me that is unacceptable. I've been looking for, look, to me my Olympus EM2 is as close as I'm gonna get. I just don't like the preamp in the microphone. But look, the EM10 Mark II has 3-axis stabilization. It's cheaper than this, and you're telling me Panasonic couldn't put image stabilization, and that is just absolutely too bad. Again, I don't get why this camera was made. If you know why this camera was made, please tell me. I'm dying to know here. I really want to know. And to me, it's a perfect opportunity. I mean, it was a missed opportunity for Panasonic to give the current market, the camera market, a great camera and a great video camera at a reasonable price, and yet they missed it because a lot of people have been looking for that type of camera. And Panasonic has a great video mode, certainly a great color in terms of pictures, and certainly they have a great camera department. And for some reason, they just did not work hard enough, or maybe they just didn't care on this camera. So let's get into the conclusion here. So as I've said, this camera is at $750. I won't be surprised maybe later this year it's going to become $400. No image stabilization, no USB-C. I mean, it's really going to be tough. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go for the videographers, certainly there are better cameras out there, but this camera is just not it. And for those who maybe understand this camera, please let me know down in the comments below. But certainly I don't understand this camera. I'm not gonna upgrade or even maybe downgrade to this camera. And so, and if you say it's a competition for Canon, I think the Canon M50 is better. But in the overall things, in the bigger picture, this camera is not gonna make sales. It's not gonna make a profit for Panasonic. I think in the next 5 years, Panasonic is going to look back and ask themselves, why did we even make this camera? And so that is my conclusion of this camera. I know I bash on this camera, but again, I really do not understand this. Hopefully, and you listen to me all the way through. And that is my thoughts, analysis, and rant of the Panasonic Lumix PC G100. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.